So I have Mark Crowley here, and he's come for a one-to-one class, and this is the third tree that we're going to do. Now, if we look at this is one of our ordinary Christmas trees, or spruce, Picea albertiana. But I'll ask Mark to say something about it. So what's the history of this tree, Mark?
So I came here probably 3 years ago, I should think, one of your group classes.
So you did a workshop, yes.
I did a workshop, and this was just a tiny little
spruce, yes.
a cutting. I mean, it had no shape. So yeah, so we wired it up, tried to put it, I mean, it's the first one I ever did. I'm not sure it's that great, but yeah, and I've tried to prune it since to keep some kind of shape and keep the trunk visible, but I think it needs a bit of attention.
Now, the reason why I decided to video is because this is going to be such an interesting tree. Many people don't think twice of using the little piceas or the Christmas tree, what we call the dwarf Alberta spruce. This tree has been just wired yesterday at one of our other workshops by one of the students. So this is what the needles look like. But if you leave the needles for a long time, they become much smaller like this. Many people don't realize it. It's exactly the same species, exactly the same type of tree. But if you keep it in a pot for a long time, they get these small needles and they look really, really attractive. Of course, it's got a bit of inverse taper and the wire has been left on, but no matter. We're going to make a feature of that wiring. I wouldn't say a scar, but it's given it character. So I'm going to unwind the wire, and then I'm going to do a bit of spiral driftwood on it and change the shape of the tree completely. So you see, this is what it looks like, but by the time we're finished with it, you won't recognize this tree. So the first thing we're going to do is remove the wire. I'm trying to unwire the wire which is wrapped around. Now that is deeply embedded in the trunk, so I'm not even going to try to remove it. If you can kindly hold the camera for me, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to cut that off there and cut that off there. I'll try and unwind it. Even this I will cut off there. So it's got very bad inverse taper, but we'll make the best of this. See, some of the fine wire has been trapped in there as well. It's almost like extracting teeth, isn't it? I think the culprit was that fine wire. But many people think that the wire will kill the tree, but it doesn't, because the bark grows over it and it continues to supply nutrients to the top of the tree through the bark and the cambium. Okay, so we've removed that, and I'm going to probably make a spiral driftwood with that. But the next thing to do is to wire the tree. It's lost the conical shape, so I'm going to wire it so that it has this conical shape. So I'm going to get Mark to wire it. Thanks. I do a lot of these one-to-one workshops with people, and of course a one-to-one I can devote all the time to just one particular individual and we get a lot done. I know the group class I do it's 6 or 7. I have to divide my time between all the 7, but they still enjoy it very much. So I'm now going to, you see there are 1, 2, 3, 4 branches. I don't need all of them. And because these don't match the thickness of the other branches, I'm going to take those off. I won't need that. You see how the buds bud from very old wood. See, there's bud back on all these. So when people tell you you can't get bud back from old wood, they're mistaken. It does bud back. All conifers bud back quite easily. Bud back, that means you get new shoots from old wood. So these I can wire like that to give a nice flat base to the conical shape. So again, I will try and match the grade of wire. Matching the grade of wire is important. If you use too thick, it may not do the job. If it's too thin, it may not hold. Okay, this one is 1.5 mil. I think 1.5 mil should do the trick. It's very simple wiring. And you can improve the shape. You see the herringbone shape there? It's the start of the pad. We can make it more refined by doing this. So you have this herringbone pattern. If you just tip the growing ends, that will keep it compact, and also you will encourage bud back. That means you get more shoots coming out from that wood, the older wood. So I've now created that conical shape. See how different the tree looks now. Huh?
Yeah.
Now, even these need wiring. You see, there's still more scope for wiring. So even on a small tree like this, we can still wire these bits. So I'll get Mark to do that wiring.
Yep.
Right, so Mark has now wired the tree. Look at it, beautiful shape like that. Classic conical shape with that beautiful S-bend that was created 3 years ago. But the fault is that it's got this very bad inverse taper here. The tree won't die. I could either plant the tree deep like that so that I don't see that bad bit, but for the time being, because I can't repot the tree, we can do a bit of jiggery-pokery and do a bit of cheating. You can either put a piece of false wood at the base to make it look thick, you know. There are no rules in this game. You know, we're not cheating really, it's just aesthetics. How you achieve the cosmetics is up to you. We can try different pieces of rock to see if it can hide it. So how about this? I have so many pieces of rock, I can find some rocks, and I think I can find a rock that would sit here. See, how about that? If I put it like that, it hides that ugly bit and it makes it look perfectly natural. Mm-hmm. So that is what I would plan to do. Next time when you repot will be in the spring. We can bury the rock a bit deeper. For the time being, I don't want to take too much root or soil off. How about that? So you've hidden that bad feature and you get away with it. So yep. There you go. So happy with that?
Yep, very happy.
All right, so that is another little interesting project. And redeeming this tree after 3 years, and this tree has, if anything, like wine, has improved with age. So there you go.